Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. We are going to analyze the fifth and the final stanza of Ode on a Grecian Urn. Keats here again addresses the Grecian urn. He speaks, O Attic shape. Attic shape means Attic or Attica. Athens is in Attica, which was a great center of Greek art as well as sculpture, and hence the urn is addressed to as O Attic shape. The shape of the urn is like the shapes which were constructed in Athens at that time. Fair attitude. Fair attitude, beautiful shape. Attitude here means shape, as it stands for the beautifully shaped urn. Though the word attitude originally meant the figure or a disposition in painting, Keats says, O Attic shape, fair attitude, with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought. Breed means embroidered, or the word breed means the same as braid. The figures depicted on the urn appear to present an embroidered pattern. So there is an embroidered pattern of marble men and maidens which are made on the Grecian urn, with forest branches and the trodden weed. We can also see the branches of forest trees and trodden weed on which people have walked. Thou silent form. He addresses the Grecian urn and he tells that your form or your shape is silent. Though you yourself do not speak anything, but dost tease us of our thought. You do tease us out of thought. We are unable to understand. We try to understand, but we cannot understand you. Your shape frustrates all our attempts to understand. As doth eternity, as does eternity. Human beings are unable to understand eternity. Similarly, they are unable to understand what the Grecian urn is speaking. The note of eternity is difficult for mortal creatures, human beings, and they cannot appreciate it. So Keats wants to implicate that the timeless and indestructible quality of the urn, that is, the urn cannot be destroyed and time has no effect on it. And the scenes which are depicted on the Grecian urn, they tantalize us in like fashion, that is equally. Cold pastoral. Keats calls the Grecian urn as cold pastoral. He calls the urn pastoral because of the pastoral scenes, the village scenes which are depicted on the urn. Then he calls it cold. Cold because the Grecian urn stands detached and immobile, and it is not a subject to the ravage, destruction and decay by time. In the next line, Keats writes, when old age shall this generation waste, that when the older generation will die, thou shalt remain in the midst of other woe. The Grecian urn will remain alive in the middle of other woe, in the middle of other difficulties and sorrows of the other or the coming generation than ours. Keats says that the coming or the next generation will have its own sorrows and woes and those sorrows and woes and difficulties will be different from ours. But at that time also, the Grecian urn will remain. It will always remain as a friend to man, to whom thou sayest. The Grecian urn will always remain as a friend to man and will say to the coming generations also, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That whatever that is beautiful is truthful, and whatever that is truthful is beautiful. So this is a belief of Keats. In one of his letters, Keats wrote that what the imagination seizes as beauty must be truth. So this was his firm belief which he has conveyed in this ode. Further he writes, that is all. Ye know on earth, you know on earth, and all ye need to know, and all you need to know. Thus we see that in this ode, Keats speaks about time, mortality, and beauty, and compares a piece of art with that of human condition and human experience. Keats believes that the urn will always provide a great relief, a friendly relief to the future generations which will be afflicted by their own sorrows, and those sorrows would be different from the sorrows of the generations of the past. In this stanza, Keats says that the urn brings our speculations, our thoughts to a point at which thought leads nowhere, that we cannot imagine. And it is the same like when a human being meditates on eternity, he is unable to understand it. The lines truth is beauty and beauty and is truth. And the last line, ye know on earth and all ye need to know, are very controversial, and different critics have given their own meaning to these lines. Every critic has interpreted these two lines in his or her own way. We see that mortality is one of the themes of Ode on a Grecian Urn. Ode on a Grecian Urn is a complex meditation on mortality. Death occupies Keats' mind, and he seems to celebrate both the dread and the fleeting nature of life. The scenes which he depicts on the urn belong to the classical world, which have been fixed and made permanent by being depicted on the urn, and these scenes also evoke a sense of immortality. Keats examines the close and intimate relationship between art, beauty, and truth. It is through beauty that humankind comes closest to art, closest to truth, and through art, human beings can attain this beauty according to Keats. So, the poem's very famous ending is very vital to understanding the speaker's position on art, beauty, as well as truth. He concludes by the sentiment beauty is truth, truth beauty, which demonstrate that in the context of this poem, beauty and truth are one and the same thing. Keats says that art's role is to create this beauty and truth, but he doesn't present beauty and truth as clearly the definable aspects of human existence. He feels the connection very intuitively and the one way conversation with the urn, and what it represents is an attempt by Keats to make sense of these intuitions.